What's going on, YouTube? That sounded scary here. Can y'all hear me? Uh-oh. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Well, that sounds scary here, and today I have a very special video, and it is an interview with Kameron Gaxiola, who plays the Shape in Halloween Aftermath. And speaking of, here he is right now. Let's get him on stage. Hey, Cameron, how's it going?
What's going on, dude?
Oh, nothing much, man. I'm ready. I'm excited to get this done. How you been? How you been?
I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds. I can barely hear you right now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay, say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Hold
you. It's
on.
just really faint. I'm not sure why.
Hold on. Let me turn off these buds and just use my. All right. Can you hear me better?
A little bit better, yeah.
All right, man. That's hopefully it'll pick up. So yeah, man. Just so you know, I'm new at this, so this is my first interview. So welcome. And so today we're gonna be talking about Halloween Aftermath, written by Cole Tatham and directed by James Grimm. Halloween Aftermath takes place between the events of Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends 4-year time jump. Specifically starting off right after he kills Karen in Halloween Kills on that night in 2018. And then he has his first encounter with Cole. Then cut 2 years later to 2020. Cole is trying to heal, but when evil returns, can anyone truly move on? Now, I got some questions for you regarding the role of Michael Myers, like your portrayal and inspiration. What were the key aspects of James Jude Courtney's portrayal of Michael Myers in the David Gordon Green trilogy that you made sure to study and incorporate into your performance for Halloween Aftermath?
Well, there's a few different things that I noticed James does. James he has really tight shoulders. And so he keeps his kind of like upper body tight
Kind of
in a
stiff.
way, but keeping his
Yeah.
hips fluid. Um, he walks with a bit of a bend in his knees, which I think could just literally be because of age, or it could actually be a performance thing that he's doing. Either way, those were some of the things that I noticed that I incorporated into my portrayal of Michael Myers in the film.
Okay, well, it's kind of answers this question a little bit, but I'm gonna breeze through it. Um, Michael Myers' movement and physicality are iconic. Can you describe your preparation process for embodying the shape and what details you focused on to achieve that specific menacing presence?
Yeah. Okay. So there's something I've noticed about Michael Myers in '78 as well as in 2018. I guess also in Kills, and not so much in Ends, but in Kills definitely. There's this almost like child-esque aspect about Michael Myers where you'll notice that he picks up things and he goes about his movements as if he has like tunnel vision, and then when he decides he's going to do something like maybe kill somebody, he'll fixate on that person up until he finds like the instrument of his destruction. And once he finds that instrument, you can see like the calculation in his movements or in his mannerisms, excuse me.
Yes,
Where
especially when
like
he was
he'll
killing Phil. Sorry, when he was killing Phil in Halloween Kills, he picked up the
Mhm,
knife, calculated how he was going to do it, and then
exactly.
stabbed him
Well,
repeatedly.
you'll actually notice in that scene, he just if you look at just the micro movements going on there. Every time he picks up a knife, he'll like look at it, and then you can almost see like the wheels start to turn,
Yeah,
and then
studying it, the
he's like,
damage it
oh,
could
I could
do.
stab with this. And
Yeah.
then he stabs, and then he sits there and looks at his work, and then he kind of like looks over and sees that there's another knife, and he grabs it, and he's like, I could stab with this, and then plants another one in him, that kind of stuff. So one aspect that I wanted to try and portray that type of like calculation was in Marnie's death scene. So when she's crawling away towards the door and Michael starts
Oh,
making his way towards her, and he looks over at the counter and sees his knife, and then he like picks up his knife, and there's a moment, if you watch, where I kind of like look at the knife for a second before I look back at Marnie and
I
then
noticed that.
continue forward.
Yeah, I've also noticed that was a very cool and clever homage to the Scream 5 opening because
Mm,
Halloween and Scream rip off each other. They legally can play off of each other. That their directors established that a long time ago in their films. So
mm,
I kind of caught on to that because it was just like Tara's opening sequence in Scream 5. Marnie's death sequence was exactly like how Tara was in the opening of Scream 5, being in her house and Ghostface attacking her in the
yeah.
kitchen all the way to the door and all that. Okay. Now now let's get into body language. What do you believe is the most single I mean, excuse me, is the single most critical piece of Michael Myers' body language that an actor must get right to truly capture the character?
Um, the narrowing of your shoulders, and then your head movements. So
The
there's,
tilt.
well, actually, there's really three. So narrowing your shoulders, head movements, and then also the way that you walk. Because I mean, we've seen a lot of different Myers over the years, and I think honestly, Nick Castle, Dick Warlock, and James Jude Courtney kind of like stand above everyone else,
Yes,
at
I
least
agree.
from what I've gathered from the fan community.
I can
Um,
agree.
and each one of them have their own different kind of style. You know, Nick Castle has a bit of like a childish, um, like a childish wonder or a childish,
Curiosity.
yeah,
Yeah.
curiosity to his Myers, because you'll notice like times where Michael like places his hand on a tree and kind of like peeks around to watch adults leaving the house, you know? And this is the same guy in the mask that is willing to like pick up Bob with one hand and put a knife through him and, pin him to the wall. So it's like
Yeah.
there is almost that like regression in his head where it's like a kid that's kind of like nervous to see where the adults are going, but then the next thing he's doing is murdering, so it's
He,
like,
he lashes out like he's an
yeah.
uncontrollable child, and his lashing out is killing someone. That's how
And
he
then
releases that.
with Dick Warlock, he's the most different, I think, out of everybody. He's very, very robotic. I think it worked in that movie. But James Jude Courtney, I don't think is anything like Dick Warlock. He doesn't move
Uh,
at all like him. Um, the one thing that I noticed about James Jude Courtney, when watching him specifically, one scene that James Grimm had me really study was the long walking scene from 2018. Um,
okay, yeah.
yeah, where he picks up the hammer and kind of like looks at it, and then he like turns and moves his way into the house.
Hmm.
So that walking scene, I really studied that scene. So I probably watched that scene like.
Yeah, because that was just one shot. If I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, that was just one continuous shot until he got into the house.
um, I think there's two cuts in it, but they hide it super well. But yeah, it looks like one long continuous shot. But I watched that scene probably like 60 or 70 times throughout the
Yeah.
the film shoot,
Hell
just
yeah.
to refresh myself, because you since you saw the movie, you know that I play a few different roles in the film.
I've seen. Refresh my memory again. Yeah, not only you're Michael, but you were also
I
who?
played the sheriff with the shotgun at the end of the movie.
Okay, yeah. So that was
Yeah.
you.
And
Okay.
then I also produced Halloween Aftermath with James Grimm and Cole. So,
Oh,
I was
you
wearing a
got
lot of different hats throughout the
you got a little
process
producer
of shooting
credit.
this movie. So I was on set, I think, for every single shoot except for 3 shoots or 2 shoots. Um, yeah, I think I was on set for every single shoot except for 2 or maybe 3. Maybe like a half day shoot I didn't make it to, but either way. Um, so I had to go back to some of the key scenes that were really important, so I could just refresh my memory of like this is the micro movements that James Jude Courtney does with the character. But one thing that he does that I love is like at the beginning of that walking scene, you know how Michael just kind of steps into frame, right?
Yeah.
And he stares forward at this, like how I imagined it, basically like Haddonfield is like the playground, and he's like back in his home turf, and he's just kind of sits there for a moment, and then he kind of like and then he turns his shoulders after turning his head, and then starts his rampage. And yeah, he kind of like stands there for a moment, just kind of like taking it in because he's finally back in town. And
Yeah, he's
then it's had
absorbing his like you
yeah,
said, his home turf. I'm back.
exactly. And it's Halloween night. There's trick-or-treaters everywhere, and he's just in his element. Takes it in for a moment, and then kind of just like
Going back to
and
my
then
element.
continues forward. And so
Yes.
we um at the beginning of the movie, I wanted a shot like that, which we shot at the Sugarmint Gallery. It's that really really nice crispy shot of Michael when I first step out into the street, and then I kind of like look towards the camera
Whenever you're chasing after Ryan,
at the very
Cole.
beginning. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. That actually is a good shot. That the
It's
lighting
a
was
great
is
shot.
great.
And what's funny is that's actually so that shot is nowhere near where we shot that scene with Ryan. That was actually, yeah, we got that shot magical night. So we had one night of shooting where we shot the proof of concept before we started the Indiegogo. Just to prove to people that we could even make a Halloween film at all. We made like a 3-minute kill scene. And we shot it at one of my a friend of mine. His daughter played the victim, and we shot it at his house in Commerce, California, which is nowhere near Pasadena.
Yeah.
So we shot there, got all the footage, and James and company were in town, just for like the evening because they don't actually live in Los Angeles. They were just in town. They were staying at my place, and I said, let's go to the Sugarmint Gallery up in Pasadena, which is right next to the Myers house. Let's just go get some shots of that too, just to show people, we're going to be shooting in Pasadena as well.
And
So we
like
went.
y'all are legit, and y'all legitimately want continuity. Like I
Yeah,
felt like I was in David Gordon Green's world, dude. Like it
perfect.
literally felt like it was split right between kills and ends. Y'all's location was perfect.
I got a really good story for you. So we went up to the Sugarmint Gallery, right? And we got that shot where I step out into the street and I look at the camera. We got the money shot, sweet shot. I would
Yeah,
argue it's one of the best shots in the whole movie. Funny enough, we did the take probably like 3 or 4 times. I was I was like envisioning that I had just got whooped on by the mob when we were shooting that scene, but my breathing, like it was a little too Kane hotter, Jason. So we were, where he's like
yeah.
it was a little
That's a
bit
little
too much that,
fast.
and we were like, let's just dial it back. So we shot
Yeah,
that
Michael was
shot like
deep
4 times.
and
And
slow.
the last one, or sorry, the second to last one, we were really close, and we were like, let's get one more. We were about to start shooting, and this couple is walking on the sidewalk into our shot. And we're like, okay, like there's people coming, break or pause. We're like, okay, cool. So we paused, and this couple is walking up, and this guy who's like, he's smoking a cigarette, and he walks up and he kind of looks me up and down, and I kind of look at him and give him like the Myers like head tilt, and he's like, that
So
costume
you're
looks pretty
saying that
damn
was an
good.
accidental shot, is what you're
No,
saying?
no, 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 no. This is the
Oh,
second to last shot. And
okay.
this guy this guy kind of like looks me up and down. And he's like, that looks pretty damn good. And I was like, thanks, man. And I kind of like took the mask off because I couldn't really see him. I had the eye prosthetic in. I couldn't really see
Yeah.
him. I took the mask off and I was like, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a kill. And I just stopped because the man standing in front of me was Christopher J. Nelson. Yeah, he was going to the Sugarmint Gallery with his wife. They had just had dinner around the corner at this really good pizza restaurant. And Chris Nelson, I shit you not, is standing like you should have seen James. James was
Dude,
like,
I have literal goosebumps. Like I have
yeah.
literal goosebumps right now. Like
So
I'm
the
like,
the shot the shot that makes it in the movie is the next shot the next one that we shot. That was the money shot. We killed it, and Chris was literally right behind us, just watching.
I guess you need that extra motivation, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. It
All right,
was so
now
sick.
that's so cool. I mean, talk about a small world, right place, right time. And in my head,
Hmm.
if I were you, I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm literally portraying a character of someone you made just right now. What a small
Yep.
world. Now,
Well, I think he lives in Pasadena, and he's always at the Sugarmint Gallery. By the way.
gotcha. I won't tell no one. Now let's talk about the mask and costume. How did wearing the mask and the complete costume affect your performance and mindset on set? Did it change the way you interacted with any of the other characters or actors?
My depth perception, just a little bit, like when you have the mask on, you like kind of restricted. So during fight scenes, we did a lot of practicing because if we didn't practice the choreography, I would have got punched in the face, or I would have hit somebody with the dummy knife or something like that. So we did a lot of practicing because in the mask it messes with your depth perception. Also, you can't hear a damn thing. So,
Yeah,
that other than that, I was just like, I always had James like be very mindful of my collar being popped and you know, my hair on the mask. And then I really just like I let the mask and the coveralls do the talking because honestly, that's what people came to see. So I moved as much like James Jude Courtney as I could, and I let the costume do the talking. I did like my breathing as similar to James as I could, and and then
I
on
noticed a
on
few
up
of the
close
grunt
shots.
sounds he made that you make. Sorry, I noticed a few of grunt sounds that you make in Aftermath are similar to some of the sounds he makes in Ends. I
Mm,
like when he gets or in Kills, like whenever he gets shot by Karen, he goes, "Whoo!" He makes a little grunting sound. I
yeah.
noticed that you've made similar grunting sounds or some type of guttural sound similar to that.
Well, actually, I made my own sounds on set. Um,
Wow.
but I don't think my voice sounds quite as like gravelly or like um it doesn't quite sound as like messed up as like James Jude Courtney's older voice sounds. So you're actually hearing James Grimm.
Oh, really? Okay, that's a cool
Yeah,
little Easter egg.
yeah. That's
That's interesting.
the a lot of the breathing, and except a couple of scenes probably when we went back through and did all like the ADR work on the film after we were wrapped. I did probably like 3 or 4 minutes of like different breathing. But for the majority of the film is James Grimm in the mask in front of a microphone doing the breathing and doing the grunts.
That's interesting. I couldn't have tell. I wouldn't have been able to tell that was him or you for that matter. But that was perfectly filmed. Um, now the look. Let's talk about the look. What was the collaboration process like with the makeup and mask and costume team to ensure the look was authentic to the 1978 slash 2018 slash kills aesthetic?
The process was, so we worked with Creepy Customs. That's Connor. Help me out here. What's his last name?
Oh, oh,
That's
shit, you put
okay.
me on the
That's
spot.
okay.
But I
Connor.
do know of him.
Yeah, yeah. So he runs
Shout out
a
Creep
super
Customs.
super quality. Yeah, shout out to Creepy Customs. He runs a super quality replica site. He's essentially a one man prop shop. The guy's incredible. Super talented replicas he makes. And specifically, he does coveralls among many other things. But specifically, when we're talking about Halloween, he does coveralls from basically every single
Does he
movie.
do
And
Necronomicons from Evil Dead?
he
If
probably does. I was going to
if
say
so,
the list of
then
things that Connor doesn't.
I do have one of his works then, because I just
Oh,
realized that I know
sick.
that name. That name sounds very familiar, and I'm looking at my Necronomicon now. And
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's where it's from. That name. So yeah, actually have bought a prop from him, and he does exquisite work.
incredible, incredible. I had a Friday the 13th remake hood and hockey mask by him for a long time. But honestly, like the list of stuff that Connor doesn't make um, is the shorter list that we could like list out here, you know, or name off here. But
Yeah,
anyways, so we gave him a description and we gave him concept material as to like what we kind of like the coveralls to look like, and he just nailed it. I mean, gosh, and he made the coveralls he made for us. They're like legit work rights, and I mean they're 100% accurate from head to toe. To I suppose it would be Kill's coveralls, and he added um, a very minor amount of mold
yeah. I
to the
noticed that. I
coveralls.
noticed the mold. I'm
Yeah.
autistic, so I have a very fine attention to small details, and I can
Hmm.
pick out basically anything. I can even quote movies verbatim. But yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that. I noticed that it because it's right before it ends. You have to take that into account. And he was in hype. He was gone for 2 years, so the mold was slowly starting to grow. And when he comes to ends, which is how the movie ended, him ended up being in the sewers. That's when it would have been, fully grown to how it is in the movie ends.
Yep.
I loved how that was ended. By the way, that was a perfect ending. Um, Mel, let's talk about the fan film production. Joining the project. How did you first get involved with writer Cole Tatham and director James Grimm on Halloween Aftermath? And what was your initial reaction to the script?
Okay, so we're gonna have to wind the clocks back a lot.
Yeah.
I've been involved with this project for almost 5 years.
Oh, five.
Almost 5 years. So a long time ago, I met James Grimm. I did a different Halloween fan film, and don't bother looking it up. It's okay. Um, but James at the time he was reviewing fan films or just films in general on YouTube, and he DM'd me and we talked for a while about that movie, and because he just wanted to know more about it, so I told him everything that he wanted to know. And anyways, it was a great interview. I liked James, and so I was like, well, keep in touch. Oh, and also I saw after I talked to him, I checked out My Special Boy, um, which was really good. And anyways, he called me when I was up in San Francisco, and asked me if I would do a read for his Halloween project. And a little bit of time had passed since I had talked to him last, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, another Halloween project. What do you got?" And he basically told me that in this version of Halloween Aftermath, the lead character is a sheriff. I'm sorry, the lead character is a girl, and her parents were killed by Michael Myers during you know the mob, and so I guess this would have been like right after Kills came out when James first started talking to me about this. Anyways, so James told me, that the lead character was this girl, and then the co-lead was a sheriff, a young sheriff who worked in the Haddonfield Sheriff's Department, and that he would be sort of like a love interest, and they would, at the end of the movie, they would face off with Michael Myers. So I auditioned for the sheriff character,
Wow.
and I got it. And so we were
Oh,
going
like
to,
James.
I was going to play the lead in the movie, and with another actress, and it was like that for a while until one day I got a phone call, and James told me that they decided to go in a different direction with the story, and that the sheriff character would now become like a very minor background role that really doesn't have anything to do with the main plot. And I told him that sucks, but it is what it is. So if you guys still need
Like
me,
practical
I'm
jokes.
happy to, play a police officer character in your movie. And that was that. And then like probably 2 years had gone by, and I knew that James was working on a like a short film project, and I asked him if I could audition for a part in it, and I did, and I ended up getting a role, and we were up there shooting, and we were just kind of sitting in between shoot times, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, what's going on with Halloween? You guys still doing that?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." And he told me that they were having some difficulties with the guy playing Michael Myers or something like that, and they basically, like, it was holding up shooting, or maybe I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but anyways, he told me we got the costume right here, and so he let me check it out, and I was like, "Hey, let me put the costume on, and let me do like a quick screen test as Michael." And he was like, "Okay," and he put him on, and at the time, I was a little bit heavier. I Earlier this year, or excuse me, I guess last year, because we were still shooting Halloween when I decided to do this, but I decided to lose some weight so that when some footage was released, the Halloween fan community, God dog, man, they'll be brutally honest with you. Anyways, I saw like a bunch of comments about how Michael was like fat as shit, so I was like, okay, I, I should probably lose some weight.
I didn't
And
think
so,
I didn't think you were fat. I didn't think you were fat.
well, good, because I lost a bunch of weight, and so when we went and did reshoots, I'm skinny in some in
I
some
mean,
of those shots.
I did notice a difference in the weight in certain shots. I'm not gonna lie, like I could tell. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, that's
I lost.
either a stunt double or he lost weight in between shooting, because I
Yeah,
noticed the difference in the
so
characters.
between Marnie's death scene and the finale of the film, I lost 50 pounds.
Holy crap! How
Yeah,
long did
so
that take you?
probably about 6.5 months or something. Like, I got on like a
Wow.
super strict diet, and I was working out like 6 days a week, and um, so I just lost a bunch of weight so I could, like, look better in the suit. Now, we basically reshot a lot of close-ups. The only scene that we didn't do any reshoots for, because we basically nailed it the first time, was Marnie's death scene.
Oh
So that's
wow.
why in Marnie's death scene you can see, my beer gut and all that stuff. Like, you can see that I'm just a heavier guy. And then by the end of the movie, the coveralls were just a little bit looser on me, which I think just overall looked better, because, and I'm glad that we did it, or I'm glad that I did it, because yeah, by the end of the movie we had a ton of wides where you see all of me,
Yeah.
just all of Michael.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not really in the shadows. I'm at this point,
You're
when the
full
chase is
body.
on,
Yeah,
I'm
full
like
frontal. Like you're
front and
all
center.
out.
So I'm glad I did it. I needed to lose weight anyways. But
Well,
yeah,
you look good as Michael. I mean, you're not James Duke Courtney size. How tall are you?
I'm actually an inch taller than him.
Oh, okay, really? Well, I
Yeah, I'm
thought you
six
were
three.
actually a little bit smaller than him. Wow. Okay. Well, that completely changes
That's actually funny that
perspective.
everybody everybody online
You look
says that
short.
he's
You
not
look
he's
a
not
little
quite as
shorter on
tall.
camera. You look a little shorter on camera as Michael. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 5'10", and I thought you were
Yeah.
about maybe my height or a little bit taller. I
No,
got
I'm
no
six foot
idea you're
three.
taller. Wow. Why did they film you short?
I don't know. Literally everybody, well, not everybody, but a bunch of people online have been saying, like, yeah, and I wish the Michael Myers actor was as tall as James Jude Courtney. And because I listened to a lot of the reviews and like the watch parties, and they're like, man, the Michael Myers actor, he's not quite as tall as James Jude Courtney, but you saw that picture I posted with James, right?
Yeah, I saw
If
that
you go
picture.
if you go back and look,
Yeah,
there's a table between us, and I'm actually like leaning back to like take the picture
yeah.
with James.
Y'all
But
are
I'm actually like James is he's probably about right here with me.
you got him beat by your hair.
Yeah, yeah. Which luckily he doesn't have any. But yeah, no,
That's
I'm six
awesome.
foot three, and
So
I think my shoulders are a lot more broad than his too. So
so y'all are even close to, in weight wise? Was that also another
I
part of
needed
why
to
you
I
wanted to
need
wear?
well he's probably like 220. Actually, we're probably really close to the same weight right now because I'm like right now I'm like uh 220 or 225 somewhere in there. So that's probably really close to James Jude Courtney because he's like he's definitely skinnier in the waist, but
He's
um
broadly chested. He's got a
yeah, but
broad
he's
chest.
muscular. He's
Yeah,
definitely a
he's
really athletic guy.
very stout.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I'm
wouldn't
pretty
want to be
athletic
that
too,
though.
but I don't know. I think he's got more narrow shoulders than mine, which is why I was saying I had to like bring my shoulders kind of down and together a little bit to make my frame basically make my frame like a little bit skinnier.
Okay, that's okay. That's cool.
Because
Okay.
when I put my shoulders back, I have 23-inch shoulders.
Oh, pretty wide.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big guy, honestly.
How about the timeline setting? Now, the film is set in the crucial gap between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. What do you feel this specific timeline setting allowed the fan film to explore that original trilogy did not?
Sorry, it broke up for just a second. What was
Okay,
the middle portion of your question?
what do you feel this specific timeline setting allowed the fan film to explore that official trilogy to explore that the official trilogy did not? Sorry.
Oh, more of Michael being able to interact with non-legacy characters. That's a big
Okay.
one. Uh, as much as I love Dr. Loomis and as much as I love Laurie and Sheriff Brackett and all of them, um, I think that they belong, like their stories belong in the official timeline, and I think Michael should be able to interact with literally anybody. I also, as much as I know that it's Michael's like desire to excuse me, to return home. That's like a very driving force for him throughout the main trilogy of movies. Um, but I don't think that Michael should be shackled to Haddonfield. For instance, in H2O, which like I think the fans regard as a rather good Halloween film.
Yes, I'm one of
Michael
those
travels all the way to
fans.
California.
I mean, yeah,
You know,
he traveled a
there's a lot
long
of
way.
stories, but between Illinois and California, there is a lot of stories that can be told. You know, that's a lot of mayhem that Michael can wreak. So I don't know. I don't mind side quests and stuff like that.
A
I
side
know that a lot
story,
of
like a mid cool.
yeah, and you know I'm not like so James and Cole are big Halloween Ends fans. I'm not the
I
biggest Halloween.
I am like Ends is my favorite. I
Yeah.
will die on that hill. Ends is is the best movie hands down in the franchise. I will die on that hill. I never thought a Halloween movie would make me cry. Okay, that movie made me
Mm,
cry as well as Halloween Aftermath because I mean I'm sorry, Marnie's death got me. That dude, you killed the shit out of her.
yeah, I
That
did.
was
I really
brutal,
really
man.
did.
That I felt that, and I felt their relationship. It really did seem like brother and sister. Like they captured
You
that
know, in the original shooting script or shot idea for the Marnie's death, it wasn't originally that we were going to like splice together the two scenes at the end with the phone call.
Yeah,
However, we thought to ourselves, we've already had Michael like stab a bunch of people, like we're just multiple times in the stomach. We thought this one being Marnie, it needs to be a bit more brutal. So just to really sell the fact that Michael like hates um, Cole. You know, like the whole thing was he came there to get Cole, but Cole left, and he watched him leave. So Michael's like, okay, well, I'm getting somebody. So
Yeah.
he got Marnie, and the reason he brutalized her so thoroughly um, is because he basically intended to kill her and then leave, and then
I
the
think
night
he
would be
wanted to leave
over.
a message too, because that was
Yeah,
an
that's exactly what he
angry
wanted to
that
do.
was an angry felt to me. It felt like it was personal. Like
Very
I'm leaving you a message. You mess with me, now I'm gonna mess with you.
exactly. And it would have been over, or Michael would have maybe just waited until Cole got home if it wasn't for the fact that he shared his location with Marnie. And Michael, being like a local kid, he knows exactly what that street is. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the originally Marnie was just going to be a message and the trap for Cole when he came home, but then they went to um, Remedy's house afterwards
Yeah.
because of the message sharing. But yeah, so originally it was basically when the last stab, right? Like the last stab and it cuts to the pumpkin. That was
Yeah.
going to be it. So we were finishing up on set that day and I recommended how Michael likes to like stage some of the
His
dead
art, it's
bodies.
like art. Yes, it's
Exactly.
his artwork.
Yeah. So we've never actually seen Michael make the art.
No, we
We've
just
only
see
ever
after
seen the
effects.
end result. So we decided let's add a little bit more. It's going to be brutal, and some people are going to be turned off by it, but let's actually get a peek at what that looks like when Michael's staging.
Yes, I
So
clocked that because we like you just said, we've no Halloween, no director, no one's ever really tried to capture that on film. We just see the end result. Halloween
yeah,
Kills on the Ferris wheel, Bob on the wall. Anyone else that you can think of that he killed and posed in a certain way. But we've never seen him actually do the process, like what kills him, and then how he moves the body, what he's thinking about, how he moves his head when he displays it. Like I
hmm
love that y'all did that. Okay, and it really puts you into like the mindset and the psychological of the psyche of Michael Myers and how he truly thinks of his work as art.
yeah. That's exactly what we were shooting for with Marnie's death scene. We wanted it to be the second most tragic death in the movie.
It it was the first one for me. It took one for me. It was the most
Yeah,
tragic for me. It was bad, but she did a great job. She sold it. She died, in my opinion, like perfectly. She was perfect.
oh yeah, yeah.
Let's
She's
let's
great.
talk let's talk about the challenges. Fan films often operate on tighter resources. What was one of the biggest challenges the team had to overcome during principal photography?
Uh, can we cuss on your channel?
Yeah, yeah, hell yeah. I don't. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we were broke as fuck.
I can
I mean, we
imagine.
had, we crowdfunded a decent amount of money. To some people, they hear that we crowdfunded like 15 grand, give or take, and they're like, ooh, it's like, yeah, especially in California. Does anyone really know out here how far $15,000 takes you in California?
Probably about
About
a month.
yeah, if that. I mean, honestly, like we actually the total amount of money that we spent on the movie is more than what we crowdfunded by a lot. Because we actually ran out of money probably like three-quarters of the way through shooting, and so we had to basically just like pay for everything else out of pocket, which was like Airbnbs, equipment rentals, gas, feeding the cast and crew, um, special effects, everything. I mean, it got very expensive. If I'm not exactly sure how much money was spent on the movie, but if someone told me that we spent like almost 30 grand on it, I wouldn't be shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, but on behalf of the Halloween community, I'm just saying this personally, y'all did a hell of a job. Y'all should be
Thank you.
really proud with what y'all accomplished and the story y'all created.
I'm very proud about it. I've been um I've been maybe a little bit of a troll online. Like anytime I see like a video of people, there's a couple of people who reviewed the movies, and I find their reviews to be like, I don't know, kind of just unreasonable, maybe. I don't know. Like I feel like
They can justify
the
certain reasons or things of what they say, basically.
yeah, I think that they're like they they are holding Halloween Aftermath to sort of an unfair standard. Um, and I'm not saying that because I can't take criticism or anything like that. I can definitely take criticism,
No, no, no,
but
no. I agree.
some of their criticisms are like, I think maybe a bit unwarranted, considering that it was just given to them for free.
Yeah, like we
Uh,
wanted the Michael, we gave y'all Michael. No, it's not the Michael you wanted, but it's Michael Myers regardless that y'all been wanting for a long time, and we gave it to y'all.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
like
the other thing is, so they were criticizing it as if we asked them to show up to a movie theater and spend $30 per ticket and buy
yeah,
popcorn. But also on top of that, some of the criticisms, I mean, I think like a lot of the criticisms about the runtime and stuff like that, I agree. 2 hours and 15 minutes, it's a lot to ask of some people. However, like for people who want to stay in this Haddonfield for just a little bit longer, congratulations, you have a 2 hour, 15-minute movie. And for the
yeah,
people who prefer a straight up 90-minute, no frills, we don't want 1 ounce of fat on this steak kind of horror movie, well, that's what the YouTube fast forward button is for, you know?
yeah.
But so I heard a couple of the criticisms I heard is that Michael loses the knife in this movie, whereas Michael in other Halloween movies would never lose the knife.
He
And
got his ass beat
yeah,
and
well,
killed.
no,
He
no,
got
no,
his
not
ass
not even
shot
that, not even
6
that,
times. What the
bro.
fuck?
In
I'm
in
gonna drop
1978,
my knife.
in 1978, Michael loses the knife like 3 times in the finale.
Yeah, when she stabs him, that's one
Yeah, he
in the
gets he
eye,
gets a needle in the neck, loses
the
the knife.
needle
He gets up in the closet, he has the knife again, and then loses it because he gets a coat hanger to the eye,
in the
and then
eye.
he loses it again when she, when at the end when he starts strangling her.
Yeah,
It's like the classic movie that
she
everybody
takes off his
loves.
mask. She takes off
Like,
his
yeah,
mask,
like
and he doesn't have
takes
it.
off his mask, he drops, doesn't have the knife, and then he strangles her. And the other thing was that people were complaining that all Michael does in this movie is strangle and stab people, and it's like, isn't that all he does in in 78? And
That
everyone
was
loves that
his
movie.
mode. That was his MO. That was his way of killing. To me, I was
Yeah.
born in 1990. I'm now 35, so I always saw Michael as like strangulation.
Yeah. A
That's how he
babysitter
liked to kill.
strangler.
But he's very popular with the knife. He
Yeah.
knows his way around a knife, but he's really good at strangling people. So, I mean, it could be either way. I don't mind which way he kills them as long as it's an awesome or gruesome death. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah. I just want to feel like the Halloween vibe, because I think a lot of the kills in the movie are like really scary, and some of them just have to like get characters like off the hit list. And that's kind of just how it is. I mean, in all the Halloween movies, there's characters who just get dispatched, and it is what it is. But in the kills that matter, well, all of them matter, but in the kills that like have to do with the leading cast, yeah, we tried to make those ones either the most brutal or the most heartbreaking, for obvious reasons. They're lead characters, they need to have their dues paid. But anyways, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like, valid criticism of Aftermath, because like I said, I can fully take criticism. If you didn't like the movie, totally fine. If you did like it, I'm glad, because we did a lot of work on the project, and we did it all for everybody, and we did it for free. So we just wanted to entertain everybody this Halloween. and we're glad that so many people watched it. But I will not listen to any of the criticisms about Michael losing the knife or Michael getting his ass whooped or
I,
Michael
I
just
wouldn't
strangling
either
people.
because I mean you have to think about it. Look what happened at the end of Kills. Yes, he's almost unkillable, but he was on the verge of dying. He literally went to go crawl into the sewers to die like a dog. That's what was
Hmm.
established in the book of Ends. Like he went to crawl, he went to die like an animal. So he was like badly injured. Okay, he could still do some damage, but he was a little slow. So it to me it made sense he would drop the knife. It just made logical
Yeah,
sense. Plus
Michael's
he's
always dropped
old.
knives.
Michael is
He's always dropped
66 years
knives.
old. He's 66 and got his ass shot and beat up by a mob. So of course he's
Hmm.
gonna be probably a little slow. I don't. That's not fair. Like that is stupid criticism, and I don't care what anyone says. So
I think
don't.
there's a lot of other things to criticize the movie about, like that actor who plays the police officer with the shotgun. He's an awful actor, terrible
I
actor. So you
didn't want
could
to say
definitely
anything.
you could definitely criticize the movie for that guy. That guy sucks. But yeah,
um.
it was. I had a lot of fun on the project. We were on it for like 2 years, 2 years of actual shooting time. But that's just because we had like no money. That was the hardest
Yeah.
part and why it took 2 years. Because if we had money, we could have shot this whole movie in 3 months. You know,
Well. Yeah.
90 days of just straight shooting. Maybe not even that. Honestly, maybe like 60 something days of straight shooting, and we could have wrapped this whole movie up. But that's if you have money.
Yeah.
If you have
Um.
money and you can pay everybody and pay for all the locations all at one time and just keep on that tight schedule. Because the other thing is that those big studios, they can afford to keep like the rentals, all the equipment they rent. They don't rent for just a weekend or anything like that. They'll rent it for like 2 months straight, and they'll just use it all and then return it all one time. So
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, if we had like, honestly, I think the movie, I think, is like a $15,000 give or take movie is what it costs to make. I mean, if you leave out what we just spent here and there,
Yeah.
um, but if it was like a union project that was shot by a studio, it probably would have easily cost us like $100,000 maybe, just because like
Y'all are
the
blessed. And
all the actors and
was amazing. What y'all pulled off for just 15 grand. Dude,
yeah,
I'm just saying, like just for 15 grand, you put me back in David Gordon Green's timeline in his franchise. Like I
that's
was placed in there. Like I felt that was that Haddonfield. This was right before he meets Lori. Because you see
mhm,
Jeremy on the I mean Corey on the billboard. So you know this takes place after Kills and before and during the events of Ends before Michael meets Lori. So
yep.
I kind of like how y'all branched that together to make it very like continuity wise structurally cohesive. Y'all did that pretty nifty.
That was like a group effort that I wasn't super involved with. That was obviously James as the director, Cole as the lead producer and writer, and then Aries Fung, who was the cinematographer. And so Aries is a professional cinematographer. He works for Universal Studios and all manner of different companies. And he's incredibly talented. Big shout out to Aries. Um, but yeah, he really helped with kind of like getting us into the room of like making our scenes look like they belong in kills or ends. And then Cole did a ton of tireless work to get the color grading very similar to those two movies as well.
Yes,
So
that's
the
one thing I
edit and
wanted
the
to
color
compliment:
grading,
the color grading, the color scheme, the palette. dude, like everything, it just matched. Like I said,
Yeah.
everything about it just transported me back into that timeline, and
You know,
I can't believe y'all did that. Like,
the first scene in the movie, the prologue, so that scene has a very similar color palette to the color palette from Kills. And then after the 2 year time jump, the color palette is made to match more so with ends.
and
So we see
I
a
know,
lot more greens
yeah,
in the second half of the movie.
that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
what was the most technically demanding scene to film as the shape, whether due to stunts, environment, or the emotional tone of the scene?
It would definitely have to be the finale fight. All of the stuff in the finale house, in Remedy's house, like the fight
Yes.
choreography, the stairs. The stairs were a big one. Gosh, I can't tell you how many times I almost tripped and fell down those stairs
Yeah.
and broke my neck.
I've
Gosh.
actually thought that. I'm like, okay, Michael better not fall down these goddamn stairs. I don't want to see that
No,
because
I
you were
know.
coming down them
And
a little quickly.
it's like the worst part about it is, like, in that mask, um if Michael's in the movie and they have a shot of him coming down the stairs, you can't have Michael looking down to
He's
make
got
sure
one
that
eye
he's
too.
yeah. So, and that's another thing. I don't you saw in the movie that I had an eye prosthetic in, right?
Yeah,
So we had to go
you were
back and
half
reshoot some
blind.
stuff because I didn't have my eye prosthetic in, and Cole was having a hard time doing mocap on the eye to turn my eye white in post.
Okay.
So we had to go back and reshoot a few things. And so for a large majority of this shoot, throughout the whole time I'm on set as Michael, I have the eye prosthetic with the dead eye, and so I can only see out of one eye the whole, like, most of the movie. And so
So you're
going
trying,
up
you're
and
being
down stairs
visualized. You're
was
trying to look a certain way, like
yeah,
where do I put my foot? Where do I walk?
dude, walking up and down stairs in that mask with the eye prosthetic was treacherous.
But I bet your body got a good workout for it though.
Oh yeah. The fights too were tough. The fights were tough because I only had the one eye and in the mask, and people were, throwing punches at me. I'm grabbing people. Luckily for any time that I'm in the scene with another person and I have the knife, we're using a dummy knife, because the
Yeah,
hero knife, even though the hero is a prop knife that is, it's pointy. It's not sharp, but it's pointy.
yeah.
We still use dummies when I was in the scene with other actors. And if I'm stabbing, we used a stab knife, which is, it's cut in half, so it only has half its blade.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Pretty
Cole
cool.
Cole was doing motion capture, and he would fill in the rest of the knife digitally.
Oh, that's cool. I never would have noticed.
Well, Cole's pretty fucking good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some stuff in there that I have never seen pulled off before, and especially in a fan film. Like
Oh yeah.
it to me, it felt like it was filmed by an actual major company,
That's what we
and
were shooting for.
that's a big compliment to you guys. Like
That's what
y'all
we were
did
aiming for sure.
okay. Now I want to get to little personal. What official Halloween film, original or the David Gordon Green trilogy, is your personal favorite and why?
Uh, it would definitely be 1978 Halloween, the original. So I've been a Myers fan since I was like 6 or 7 years old. Um, Back in the day, I'm sure you remember this. There was the TV channel AMC,
Yes.
and they would
Oh my
have
god, and they play
AMC
Halloween
Fear Fest.
every Halloween. I would
Yeah,
record it. My dad wouldn't let me watch horror, so I would record it at my grandparents and then watch it the
yeah.
next day. Go ahead.
There you go. So my mom would work nights at the ER, and she would take off for work, and I would sneak out of my room and I would go turn on AMC Fear Fest and I would watch scary movies because I also wasn't allowed to watch scary movies. So yeah, I would sneak out there, and there was one night, the night that crafted my horror movie journey and taste for horror movies. They played the first movie that they played was Godzilla Raids Again. So the sequel where Godzilla fights that Anguirus, the kind of armadillo monster with a bunch of spikes on his back. I don't know if you're familiar.
Somewhat, not as much. I'm mostly
So
just into horror.
no worries, no worries. So they played Godzilla Raids Again,
Yeah.
which is a sick movie if you like old school monster movies. The next movie they played was Halloween 1978. And then the movie I caught after that before I fell asleep was The Shining. So
Oh.
yeah. So I got all three of those. I'm a big Godzilla fan, big Michael Myers fan, and huge Shining fan. So I caught those, and that's like crafted my horror movie taste. That's like all horror movies are subject to comparison to Halloween 1978, The Shining, and the old school Godzilla movies. So
What was your first Halloween
the
film you watched? Because you know when you
78.
that was the first one you ever watched.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had never heard of Michael Myers prior to that, and
How old are you,
I
Bob? If
found
you
out
don't
who Michael
mind.
Myers. I found out who the boogeyman was that night.
How old are you?
I was probably like 6 or 7.
No, I meant like right now.
Oh,
Like how old are you
I'm
now?
30.
Okay, so you're a little bit younger than me. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, so I forgot my train of thought. Oh well, there went that thought. Moving on. Um, um, you're no, here it was. You're growing up. I didn't have cable. I lived on 700 acres of land. I didn't have no neighbors or anything. I had a hunting grounds, pecan orchard. Like we had sugarcane fields. We had all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I never had cable. Just had antenna. I always would go to my grandparents after school, and they had a little spare bedroom with a TV and a VCR. Yeah, I'm showing my age. You know what a VCR is,
oh
and
yeah,
and my dad would not let me watch horror movies. He was very specific about what horror movies I could watch. Aliens, Blade, um, like I'm like, Dad, okay, Dad, you'll let me watch Blade, any of the Blade movies, but you don't want me to watch Michael. You don't want me to watch Chucky, Freddy. I don't understand. You can punt Chucky across the room for God's sakes. Like I don't understand. So I would always, when I was young, I would always set up the VCR to record the exact time the movie would come on, as well as turn off. So when the movie would end, it'd be like midway through the credits, and that's how I would watch. That's how I watched my films. I never watched them in order. I think the first Halloween I've watched had to have been, I want to say 5 or H2O.
mm,
And that's how I got, and actually no, it was H2O. That's how I got into Halloween and into the Michael Myers mask collection. I have every mask. I even have one that I rehauled myself. My Halloween Kills mask. So I know it's
nice.
not good lighting, but I rehauled this one myself. It's not great, but it's my first attempt at ever rehauling a mask. And so yeah, growing up, yeah, Michael is my hero. He has always been a huge hero of mine, but Art the Clown is slowly starting to sneak up there. He's Art the Clown something different. And we need it
I think
different.
the second Halloween movie I ever saw was Halloween 4.
Halloween 4.
Yeah,
I love that one with
it's
Jamie.
a great
Yeah,
one.
I
Yeah,
loved it.
for a long time I think I got 78 and 4 like in my memory I got them like really like bleeding over each other. Like there's some I feel like there's a lot of crossover between Halloween 4 and 78. They feel very similar.
Hmm.
I think that's why so
And
many people like Halloween 4. Speaking
yeah,
of,
I think I like, yeah. I actually have one too by Nick Mopagano. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a YouTuber. He does
Molpagano.
Mopagano. That's it. I could never say
Yeah,
his
Nick
name.
Molpagano. He
Mopagano.
actually
I was
sort of taught me how to make masks because
He's
I
my
am a
inspiration. I use him as my inspiration. I watch him, and then I don't know what I'm doing. I just emulate what I see him do.
yeah,
And
he's great. So
yes,
talented.
yeah, I was actually gifted that mask for my channel. I actually have the little sticker for it and everything. Yeah,
Which mask is it? Is it an NHK?
it's an H-Man, H-Man 2.
Oh, H-Man.
Yeah, yeah,
My favorite mask that he sculpted is probably the NHK.
NHK.
It's
There's
an
so many.
earlier Captain Kirk sculpt that he did.
Okay.
It stands for Nicholas Hardware Killer. Is what
Okay.
NHK stands for, but it's originally sculpted to be a Kirk, and it's a great Kirk, and it's also really inexpensive. Like he made it essentially. I mean, just like he does any of his masks, because Nick is great. But just like he does any of his masks, they oh, the Tots Kirk, nice.
Yeah, it's a Don Post.
Nice. So, yeah, he did the NHK, and I think honestly, if you don't have the money for a nag, the NHK is a solid bet for an H1. You know, they're not super expensive. Basically, anybody can get one. You can either have Nick finish it, and you know Nick's work. It
Yeah,
looks
I
great.
know his work.
Or
Exquisite,
you can
top
finish it yourself. If you just wait a little while, he'll send you a blank, and I mean his work is phenomenal. Like his sculpting on that, the NHK is a great mask, and it's not crazy expensive, and I think it's like, you know,
It's worth
it's not
it.
a nag, but it's way more than honestly, it's way more than what most Tots masks give you. Although
And
Trick or
what
Treat
certain movie
Studios,
studios will come up with. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, hell,
although
look at
Trick or
Michael
Treat Studios
Halloween
has kind of been whooping ass recently, but a few years
5.
back, you know,
Yeah. That's all we'll say about that. What first drew you to the horror genre as an actor? And are there any other horror iconic roles you would be interested in playing?
well, like I told you, I had an interest in horror when I was young. So I would sneak out and I would watch, or sneak into the living room and I would watch AMC Fear Fest at night. I
Yeah.
liked I liked being scared. I liked scary imagery. I At that time I was already into Godzilla. I was already into dinosaurs. I was a big dinosaur kid, and I had at a really early age I had sort of like an obsession with Hollywood practical effects, like props and practical effects, because of like movies like Jurassic Park and Jaws. I was like super interested in the process, and
Yes.
you know, as one does. Also, I'm an October baby, so
Same here. The
the
28th.
yeah, yeah, 14th. So I basically was just like, you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second there. I had an interest in sculpting, and I had an interest in how Hollywood makes monsters. Which, if you go down that rabbit hole, inevitably you get to masks.
Yeah.
And what's the most famous mask of all time?
Michael Myers.
There you go. So
Like,
I just had
even
an
people
interest
who
in it,
don't
and
watch it know the mask. Like, know it. Like, it's the most iconic
yeah,
mask in the world.
I'd say arguably the second most famous
That's
mask
crazy.
ever would be a hockey mask.
Okay,
You know?
yeah. So, Jason, and then possibly Freddy, then Ghostface, then maybe
Yeah,
Leather. But
yeah.
Art the
Honestly,
Clown and
like if
Michael, I can't. I They battling for number one. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't rate them.
for sure. I mean, like ever since the movies came out, you know, I mean, literally take like any cartoon, you know, put any big hulking, scary looking character with a with a hockey mask, and boom, you got a Jason reference. Or put a pumpkin on the lap of any cartoon character wearing a white face mask. Everybody knows exactly what they're referencing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I got to uh, the horror genre, was just like essentially through Jurassic Park. Funny enough, because when I was really little, I thought the scene with the Dilophosaurus that spits Wayne Knight in the face, yeah,
Yes. See, I
when
know
that
that whole
spits in
movie.
Newman's face,
We were
that I
very much
used to think that
similar.
scene was terrifying.
My scene was the
So
Velociraptors in the kitchen.
yeah,
They are my favorite dinosaurs. Like the Velociraptors that are depicted in the Jurassic World and Jurassic Park films. Like the
yeah,
way they look, even though that's not how they look in real life, I don't care. But in my world, in my reality, that's how they look. And the
yeah.
designs, even in 3 with the hairs on the head,
Oh
I
yeah.
love that look. And I like how they
Did you know?
differentiated.
Have you ever read the book Jurassic Park?
Unfortunately, no. My AD when I
Okay.
was a kid, my ADD would not let, and my ADD and dyslexia would give me hard times reading.
Yeah.
But I did get hooked onto the Harry Potter books. Like somehow my ADD worked for me, and I got like hyper focused on having to
Hey,
read the entire franchise.
that works.
Yeah, but
If
now
you ever get a chance, you should listen to the audiobook of Jurassic Park, because there's actually an explanation for the look of the raptors in that movie. Um,
really,
yeah, so the raptors that you see in the movie are actually a species called Deinonychus, and they're actually super accurate. In the book, basically one of the scientists, if I remember correctly, it's Dr. Grant, says like, oh, but they don't actually look like this. And they basically explain, just like everything else in the park, it all went through it all went through like a focus study, and basically the name Velociraptor scored higher with audiences where they said that name sounds cooler than Deinonychus. So
yeah.
the raptors in Jurassic Park are actually Deinonychus, but they just call them Velociraptors because they sound cooler.
Wow, that's something I did not know. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
which
learning a
is
lot of things today.
sounds perfectly in line with like that. It's like the most corporate thing that you could possibly think of, and it's like so accurate to that movie, because they always say like, "Oh, we spared no expense," but all they
Yeah,
did was
they say
spare
that in
expenses.
every film. Spared
Yeah.
no expense. Man,
So that
Jurassic Park was a
yeah,
huge. That's actually what got me into horror, even though Jurassic Park was not a horror movie. But
yeah,
whenever you're 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old when it first comes out, when you see a giant T Rex kill someone, or a Velociraptor, trying to kill a kid or something, like that's scary. I mean, we know they're not real, but they were real at one point, and this is what could happen if they were ever brought back. So as a kid, that's terrifying. So Jurassic Park is what actually got me into horror, and my first horror movie was actually Pet Cemetery, and that movie I watched that at 4 years old. My mom's mom, let me watch it, and I should not have watched it. I loved it. It scared the shit out of me. I had nightmares for a couple of months, and I think that's probably why my dad didn't want me to watch scary movies. But I still loved it. I loved being scared. I don't
yeah,
get that feeling anymore. Like blood don't bother me. Gore don't bother me. Kills don't bother me. Make it a bloody casket, a closed casket. I don't care. Like that don't bother me anymore. I don't get scared anymore like I used to. I haven't. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just desensitized to it now because I've watched so many horror movies. I do get feelings of like disturbed or on edge, but nothing to where I'm actually like frightened anymore.
yeah.
And
Same.
I wish I could get that feeling back. I really wish that movie can be made that could give me that feeling back.
Well, I'll see
Eh,
if I can't write something. I also write and I do like a tiny bit of directing. I want to do more, but directing is difficult. So, but I write horror screenplays, and I mean, I haven't only written horror, but horror is always what I gravitate to, just because I have so much love for the genre.
yeah,
So I don't know. We'll see. You know, my goal is to create like worthwhile original horror and suspenseful films that are original concepts. I don't intend to do fan films forever, although I'll be doing Scream with James and Cole again. So we will be collaborating again on Scream, and
can't wait
hopefully
for that.
after that an original project. I'm writing something right now that I'm pretty hyped about. It's a noir suspense horror kind of thriller.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, it follows a. I'll give you a tiny little bit of information about it
A
if
little
you
synopsis.
want to hear about it.
Sure, by all
Yeah.
means.
Okay. Well, this is the first actual announcement about it. I haven't told like anybody outside of the group.
Well,
Um,
I'm honored.
so it's a movie called Spiral, and it follows. I know it's very similar to the Saw movie that nobody will mention because it wasn't
Yeah,
good. Um,
that's actually I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that until you just brought it up. I was thinking
oh,
spiral. I was thinking
good,
of something like a dance or something. I don't know why,
good.
but
Then I
that's the
won't
first
I
thing
won't
I
bring it
thought
up
of.
with anybody else ever again. But so the movie's called Spiral, and it follows a private investigator, and his jam is to basically just like rich people come and hire him when they think that their spouse is cheating on them and they want to get a divorce, so that they can get dirt on them, and their divorce will go in their favor. And he basically gets approached one day, and this person tells him that they think their husband is um, having an affair and maybe involved in something illegal. And so the private investigator goes and looks into it, and he discovers some terrifying shit. And let's just
I'm
say his
already
life,
hooked.
yeah,
I'm
let's just
already
say his
hooked.
life spirals out of control after that.
Oh, I love that. And so, as a play on the title, everything spirals down after they find out stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm already interested, and that actually was leading up to my final question. And I know we're running a little bit behind, and I apologize. But my final question was: beyond Halloween Aftermath, are there any upcoming projects, whether in the fan film space or official productions, that you are able to discuss? Obviously, Scream.
So that's the two ones. I can't say too much about Scream.
No,
So
no, no. But I
yeah,
mean, we just know that you're in Scream. That's it.
yeah.
That's all that
I'm gonna be
we
in
need to know about
Scream.
that.
And I can't tell you who I'm playing, but I have an NDA for Scream. So
Well, no, no, no. I know.
yeah.
I read like what you can talk about, like you know, just like yeah, yeah. I might have one or two upcoming projects. Just that and the other.
Mhm.
Just that's cool. That's really cool.
All I can say about Scream is you guys are gonna love it. Cole is cooking up a storyline that I think you guys are really really gonna dig.
I actually just watched a Scream fan film last night. I don't know if you've heard of Critical Overlord. He's a
No, I haven't
YouTube
seen it.
channel. Yeah, he's a YouTuber, but the movie is called Slash, a Scream fan film. It's like 22 minutes long, um, but it's basically a black Scream movie or a black stab movie because they get meta
Mm,
in the film. Like
yeah.
it's really interesting, and you can tell it's fan made, but it actually got me pretty interested in it because the way they structured you just have I can't really explain it without ruining it. You just have to watch it to get it, but you get the idea of what it's like being a black individual in a horror movie and how their tropes always are. But
Yeah.
the way it ends, you'll never see coming. That's what got me. The ending
And
is
it's
what got me
called it's
hooked.
called Slash.
Slash a Scream fan film.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, man. I watched it. I watched it 3 times already. I mean, I watched Halloween Aftermath 20 times already. I've watched that movie to death. Like,
Yeah.
when I see something that I like, I'm gonna watch and absorb and learn everything
Good.
about.
Well, watch it on a couple more devices so we can get that view count.
Oh, trust me, I actually have. I have my laptop and 3 of my phones. I've actually had Halloween Aftermath play on my other devices. Like, I support you guys fully. Y'all did an amazing job, and I just wanted to congratulate y'all one last time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day for coming on to this channel. And well, I look forward to seeing what you do next, buddy.
We'll keep you in the loop. Don't worry.
All right, man. Well, I won't take you up much longer, man. You have a good day.
Appreciate it. You as well, man. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there we go. That was my interview with Kameron Gaxiola. I did not expect it to go this long. I appreciate everyone who stood by and watched and stayed for the entire thing. I don't really know how to end this. This is my first time ever doing an interview. I'm sorry my light is going out, but hopefully y'all can still see everything good. But all right, you guys, I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Okay, remember Halloween Aftermath. If you have not seen it, check it out. It is free. It's on YouTube, and it's fucking amazing. Okay, remember it takes place right after Halloween Kills, right after Michael kills Karen and leaves his house, or leaves the house. This is where Halloween Aftermath picks up. Then it takes place 2 years later, before and during the events of Halloween Ends, before Laurie meets Michael. So the gap, it bridges all of it together perfectly. Anyway, Halloween Aftermath, James Gaxiola as the Shape, phenomenal. He did an amazing job, and I can't thank him enough. So I hope y'all have a good day out there. I'll see y'all next time. Stay scary.